think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford to win.
Mike Tyson has voiced serious concern about Canelo's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be damaging to his career. He notes that in past fights, Canelo often failed to use his jab effectively, which allowed opponents to gain confidence and close the distance. Tyson advises that this time, Canelo must refine his jab strategy, employing it with greater precision and consistency to control the fight and prevent Crawford from building momentum.
He's not going to jab. The guy's going to walk right in on him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, he was really basic,
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas acknowledges that Canelo Álvarez has faced a long list of elite opponents across multiple divisions, giving him one of the most impressive resumes in the sport. In contrast, Terence Crawford has not consistently faced the kind of marquee names fans often expect from a fighter of his caliber. Still, Atlas emphasizes that true greatness is not always defined by the length of a resume, but by the skill, adaptability, and intelligence a fighter displays in the ring. In his view, Crawford's mastery of timing, angles, and ring control could allow him to neutralize Canelo's physical advantages. Atlas believes that Crawford's composure and ability to adjust mid-fight may ultimately prove decisive against such a dangerous and experienced champion.
He's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo Álvarez in this matchup go far beyond a simple win or loss. Terence Crawford is moving up 2 weight classes, which creates a unique challenge but also places added pressure squarely on Canelo. A defeat under these circumstances would draw heavy criticism, suggesting that despite his advantages in size, strength, and experience, he was unable to overcome a naturally smaller opponent. Such an outcome could raise doubts about his current standing in the sport and potentially damage his reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his era. This is why the fight carries significant risk for Canelo before the first bell even rings.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez speaks with confidence when discussing Terence Crawford's place among boxing's elite. He sees Crawford as a fighter operating on a higher level of technical skill and mental sharpness than most boxers today. Benavidez praises Crawford's ability to seamlessly switch stances, remain composed under pressure, and dictate the pace of a fight regardless of his opponent's style. He believes this blend of poise and technical precision makes Crawford one of the most difficult puzzles to solve in the ring. For Benavidez, Crawford's true edge lies not only in his physical ability, but also in his exceptional fight IQ, which enables him to systematically break down even the most seasoned opponents.
Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter, and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make one.
Jeff Mayweather underscores the exceptional technical skill that has defined Terence Crawford's career, emphasizing his ability to read opponents and adjust his strategy with surgical precision. While he gives Crawford the edge in pure boxing craft, Mayweather is quick to remind fans and analysts that Canelo Álvarez's power and experience cannot be underestimated. Time and again, Canelo has shown he can alter the course of a fight with a single, perfectly placed punch, while thriving under the pressure of facing some of the sport's biggest names. Jeff cautions that overlooking Canelo's ability to adapt and exploit openings would be a costly mistake for Crawford, or for any fighter who steps into the ring against him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's technical analysis centers on the jab as a decisive factor in this fight. He highlights Terence Crawford's jab as one of the most efficient and accurate in modern boxing, allowing him to control distance, set up combinations, and disrupt his opponent's rhythm. This ability to dictate pace with a precise jab has been a cornerstone of Crawford's success. Kellerman contrasts this with Canelo Álvarez, whose jab was once a reliable weapon early in his career, often neutralizing aggressive opponents. In recent years, however, Canelo's jab has become less consistent and less frequent, a shift that could leave him vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined and relentless use of the lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell highlights the cultural and stylistic contrasts that often shape major boxing matchups. He observes that Canelo Álvarez embodies the traditional Mexican style, marked by calculated pressure, powerful body shots, and sharp counter-punching. In contrast, Russell notes that Terence Crawford showcases the rhythm, fluidity, and defensive awareness often associated with the African-American boxing tradition. This clash of styles creates a compelling dynamic, as each fighter will look to impose his own rhythm while neutralizing the strengths of the other.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia has openly expressed his support for Terence Crawford in this high-profile matchup. Garcia praises Crawford's work ethic, discipline, and commitment to mastering the fundamentals of boxing. He believes that Crawford's success at the highest level benefits the sport as a whole, as it highlights the importance of technical mastery and ring intelligence. While Garcia respects Canelo Álvarez and his many accomplishments, he admits that he is personally rooting for Crawford to come out on top.
I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. In this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's promotion, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's, he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford to win.
Omari Jones believes Terence Crawford's preparation for this bout is a model of professionalism. Instead of bulking up too quickly and risking a loss of speed and stamina, Crawford has carefully added weight through a targeted program of nutrition and conditioning. This approach allows him to maintain the agility that defines his style, while also building the durability required to face a naturally larger opponent like Canelo Álvarez. Jones sees this preparation as giving Crawford the best possible chance of success while minimizing the physical disadvantages that come with moving up in weight.
Me personally, meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win. So
you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard. So I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know you, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yes.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi adds to the discussion by praising Terence Crawford's balanced approach to physical preparation. He notes that Crawford has built the muscle mass needed to withstand Canelo Álvarez's power without sacrificing the quickness that enables him to counter effectively and evade pressure. Malignaggi credits this to Crawford's disciplined training camp and his meticulous attention to detail, from diet to sparring strategy. In his view, this preparation could prove to be the decisive factor in Crawford's ability to successfully impose his style against Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Álvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Edwards highlights Terence Crawford's mastery of movement as the cornerstone of his success. He explains that Crawford's ability to control distance forces opponents into uncomfortable positions, causing them to miss and leaving them exposed. to counters. Combined with elite conditioning, this skill enables Crawford to maintain a high pace without fading over 12 rounds. Edwards believes that such movement will be essential in neutralizing Canelo Álvarez's pressure and preventing him from cutting off the ring. He also emphasizes that Crawford's mental resilience allows him to remain composed, even when facing heavy fire.
He's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and he gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, when the guy's running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to. But he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Álvarez's recent performance against William Skull has raised concerns among both analysts and fans. His punch output was lower than usual, and his movements lacked the urgency and precision that once defined his prime years. Rather than dictating the pace, Canelo often found himself reacting to Skull's offense, allowing the challenger to fight more comfortably than expected. This hesitancy has sparked questions about whether Canelo still possesses the stamina and sharpness needed to control elite opponents over 12 rounds. Critics warn that if these issues continue, they could be exploited by a versatile fighter like Terence Crawford.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday Night Show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Álvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Álvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter, along with other analysts, believes that for Terence Crawford to win, his game plan must revolve around distance control and the use of strategic angles. By constantly adjusting his positioning and forcing Canelo Álvarez to reset, Crawford can disrupt his opponent's forward momentum. Over time, this approach could wear Canelo down both physically and mentally. Porter stresses that mental discipline will be just as crucial as physical ability in this fight. The fighter who stays composed, focused, and consistent with his strategy from the opening bell to the final round is, in his view, the one most likely to emerge victorious.
Yes. So I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner. They have the presser in Riyadh. They have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, you know, that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. You know, he slipped him and then slapped him. And that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win. And you know, but I don't want to get too deep into it today. But you know my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right? Is an after.